Welcome to Smalltalk Daily for Thursday, January 8, 2009. This morning I thought I'd go through a brief example of using Xml-Rpc in Cincom Smalltalk. It turns out that Xml-Rpc is commonly used on blog servers and other services as kind of a simple alternative to web services WS Star, the SOAP stuff. So here's an example. I've got Syndicate, which is a site that indexes RSS and Atom feeds, and here are some APIs that they have, and I wanted to show you how to use those. So let's push this out of the way. And first, to get that, I'm going to connect to the public store repository. So I select that, connect, and now I'm going to go to published items. And here I'm going to select Xml-Rpc client because I've just published a new version that has some comments in it. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to load it. And say yes, and I'll let that load. It's going to bring in the HTTP support and some other basic network stuff from our basic distribution. Once that comes in, there it is, I'm then going to go to the comment for that package, which I've just added. So let's scroll down to Xml-Rpc client. And here's a simple example. So let's just copy this code out of here. I could run it here, but I'm going to copy it out of there, and I'm going to stuff it into a workspace so that I can work with it. So here, all you do is grab your Xml-Rpc client and hand it an URL. And this is the endpoint for the service I was showing you a moment ago. And then I can perform any API with the appropriate arguments. And here is just a simple example. I'm going to get rid of these temporary variables because I want them to sit around in the workspace. So I'm going to do this first call first. And that might take a moment to chug. So now I've got the IDs. And if I inspect that, you'll see that what I've got is a collection of IDs for feeds on that site, and I found all the feeds that match the keyword Smalltalk. Now once I've got that, I can then execute the second call, which gets feed info for all of those. So I hand it the array I just got back, so I'll do that and inspect the results. That again might take a moment to chug, but here it is. So I get this inspector up, and I've got all the feed info for each one of these. So here you can see this one happens to be the Cincom Smalltalk wiki, and if I drop into that by double clicking, you see it's got a bunch of data that came back from it, the point where it was last changed, any other meta information that happens to be there. So you get a whole bunch of information back, and you see that using it is pretty straightforward. You make method calls to it that are kind of like Smalltalk method calls, and you can hand it arbitrary objects, and as long as they match up to what the backend service is expecting, they get translated for you by the Xml-Rpc client implementation. So that's really about it for this. You can use this against any arbitrary Xml-Rpc service you find. Again, most weblogs implement an Xml-Rpc derivative called MetaWeblog, so it's easily usable against that. And you can use it against various other services like this one, Syndicate. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with Smalltalk.